NFL Primetime is presented by E-Trade.
Well, I'm personally out of breath. I don't know about you. I'm Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson. Tom, listen to the music.
Yes, that's good stuff.
Is that NFL primetime? Yes. Wild card weekend, and it couldn't get any wilder than the final game on the 4 on Wild Card Sunday. The Green Bay Packers finished arguably about the hottest team in the NFC this side of Dallas. Certainly, they won 7 of their last 8 after a 4-4 start. The Arizona Cardinals, oh, by the way, runners-up in the Super Bowl, not for a last-second miracle throw and catch by Pittsburgh, might have been the defending Super Bowl champs. They were in, Pittsburgh was out. And on a day when offense ruled, wouldn't you know that defense after 4 hours would spell to the end of a game that will heretofore be known as the roaster in the toaster. Here we go. From Arizona, here come the defending NFC champion Cardinals. Rematch of last week when the Packers and Aaron Rodgers won big. And one thing you know, that the Packers had the best plus-minus ratio with turnovers in football, except when the game began. Karlos Tiny Dansby tipped. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie gassed the ball. Rodgers only 7 INTs all year, now 1 in the playoffs. Wouldn't you know? Tim Hightower from the 1. All along the high tower, 7-0 Arizona. Now here comes Green Bay. And, of course, Green Bay's not going to turn it over again. Donald Driver has it. Dansby strips the ball. Alan Branch, looking more like a tree trunk, falls on the ball. 2 turnovers in the first 5 minutes.
Dansby involved in both turnovers, the tip of the pass the first time, the strip of Driver right here, and that's a great job. Class act right there, getting the turnover for the Arizona Cardinals.
And so now Arizona, Kurt Warner, not to Anquan Bolden, who didn't play at all, but Early Doucette, 15 yards, it's 14-0.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of this. The shallow cross, nobody picking him up. The zone drop a little bit deep in that instance.
Well, Arizona is rolling thanks to the Packers' miscues. 17-7. Warner to Doucette. He spin, he shoot, he score, the goal, and the Cardinals lead 24-7. Look at this play again by Doucette.
Well, little stop, gets across the middle, and then great second effort with the spin to get himself into the end zone.
So the Headless Horseman scores. There's Bolden on the sidelines. And so 24-10 Cardinals at the half, but they will need more. And they're going to get more. Kurt Warner, one of the great postseason performers of all time, steps up. And Larry Fitzgerald, do you think he's open, Tom? Could go all the way, 33-yard touchdown, and the route is on 31-10. They're up by 21.
Yeah, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Charles Woodson right there gets knocked down actually by Fitzgerald. They get tangled up. Fitzgerald, easy score.
So down by 21, only 2 teams have come back from farther in postseason history. Aaron Rodgers didn't read that part of the book. Greg Jennings, 6-yard touchdown. Jennings had a heck of a day as the driver, 31-17.
You will not see a better catch. Stick out the left hand, stop the ball, keep your eyes on it, score.
Now 31-17. Maybe the Packers can get a rare stop. No! They go for an onside kick. Arizona's not looking for that. Brandon Underwood recovers, and the Pack may be back.
Yeah, very smart. Let the ball go 10 yards, then get it.
1st and 10, down to the 11 now. Rodgers avoiding the pressure. Jordy Nelson, 10-yard touchdown. We got a game. After all this weekend, we finally got a game late. 31-24, the Pack within 7. Kurt Warner says, not so fast, my friend. Warner in pocket. Fitzgerald makes the diving catch, 38-24 Arizona.
Yeah, and this is, you're going to see some contact. Well, you won't see the contact that happened between Fitzgerald and Woodson before that catch. Great concentration, great one-hand grab.
So now the Packers still need another huge comeback. I mean, they're down by 14 on the road here in the 4th quarter. Rodgers, James Jones spins, and he's gone. Oh, my goodness. Can anybody tackle or cover or what? 38-31. Arizona's lead down to 7. Here come the Cardinals. Kurt Warner. And wait a minute. Here's some defense. Charles Woodson, maybe Defensive Player of the Year, gets a tip on it. First punt of the game, Arizona coming up.
And look, it's just a fingertip that knocks it over Larry Fitzgerald.
What do we have? 1 punt on each side, I think. Rodgers to Jermichael Finley had a big game, the big tight end, 38 yards, wide open. Don't tell me Green Bay's going to tie this thing. Are they really? Next play, Rodgers looking for Donald Duke and the driver. What? Makes the move. Down to the 1, 28-yard gain. Next play, John Kuhn from the 1, Bowie's his way in there, and we're tied at 38. Did I say tied at 38?
Yes.
But wait, as they say on late night TV, but wait, there's more. Warner. Wow. Preston. Wow. Perfect throw. Great catch. 26 yards. 2 plays later. Warner. Zing. Preston turns around. Touchdown. Cards back on top. 45-38.
As CC would say, a professional catch right there, spinning in the air, great adjustment with his body, great hands.
Now Aaron Rodgers, how many times can we come back? Throwing to Jennings. How about this grab, Tom?
You know, one tops the next one. Look at Jennings, great grab, concentration, watch the feet. Left foot, right foot. Get the arm under, it's good.
2:26 to go, 3rd and 5, Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, Jermichael Finley, 9 yards. That's another Green Bay Packer first down. 2 minutes to go, very next play. Rodgers, not the driver, not the Jennings, not the Finley. Spencer Havener. Yes, they Havener themselves a touchdown. And we're tied at 45. 45 all. But wait, they allowed too much time for Kurt Warner. 1:19 to go. 2nd down on 26. Warner, Preston. He's into Packer territory. 24 yards. That's another Cardinal first down. 22 seconds left. Warner. Early at Doucette. Early, he does it late. Fights his way for 16 yards inside the 20. Timeout. 14 to go. Let's do it out now. So if it's a bad snap, we get another chance. Neil Rackers. No, really? Really? He shanked it. He just hooked it left. Oh, my goodness. Rackers misses, and we're going to overtime. And you win the toss, you're going to win this game. I mean, there's just no question about it. The Packers get the toss in OT. First play. Rodgers, he's looking for it all to Jennings. He was wide open. It would have ended it. 2 plays later, 3rd and 5. Dansby, arm up, stripped. Wait a minute, Michael Adams strips it. Dansby comes up with the ball, and after 90 points, it's going to be defense that wins it.
Yeah, really a great play by Dansby, who forced Rodgers to pull the ball down. Michael Adams then strips it from him. Dansby catches it in midair after it hits off Rodgers' foot, and the game over.
So wait a minute, you even won the toss when nobody could stop anybody all day, but you lost on defense. Oh my goodness, the Packers almost author an epic comeback, but in the end, in the highest scoring game in the history of the playoffs, overtime, defending NFC champion Arizona, 51, Green Bay, 45, everybody involved, including these announcers, out of breath.
You know, it's playoff football. We got to come in and we got to take our game to another level. And that's exactly what we did. The rest helped out, you know, and like I said, we threw some things at them they haven't seen before, and it played into our hands.
This is what football and playoffs are all about. With that being said, it's a great tribute to our team because it was a pretty tough week last week, especially after the way they beat us, the way we hung in there and bounced back and played the way we did today. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited that some of our young players stood up today in a playoff game, made big plays for us. And I'm really happy that our defense made a play to win the game there at the end because I know it was a tough second half for them.
I never want to make an emotional decision, and I think it's easy to do, you know, whether it's after a game like this to say, gosh, I'm going to play forever, or after a bad game and just say, you know, I'm done. And I don't want to do that. Although there's no question, I continue to think about it, and I have thought about it over the last few years and will again this year to make the right decision because I don't think you ever want to stay too long, but you never want to go out before it's time. And, you know, the hard part is trying to figure out when that is. But right now, it's about another playoff game. It's about New Orleans, and then we'll go from there.
Kurt Warner talking about retirement. Well, he's not retiring in the next 6 days because they're going to play the Saints. That could be higher than this, but look, 96 points, 51-45, the highest scoring game in the history of the postseason. A wild one with Philly and Detroit in 95. But, oh, by the way, the third highest involves Kurt Warner and the soon-to-be world champion, miracle, St. Louis Rams with the greatest show on turf back in 99 against Minnesota. Where will we begin? Warner now with 6 300-yard games in the postseason. That ties for number one. He's the highest. He had 5 TDs and 4 incompletions. So, Tom, defense, though. Didn't the Packers have the #2 defensive football coach?
Well, they had the #2 defense, but they got carved up by one of the great quarterbacks of all time in Kurt Warner. And as you watched him do this, certainly he had some open receivers, but the ball is always out of his hand quickly. It is always on target. It's where it needs to be. And he is at his best when you get close to the goal line. And that speaks for the touchdowns that he scores in the postseason. I think that alone makes him a great quarterback. Now watch here. Falling off his back foot, he gets the crossing route there for the score. Again, right here, he's got time to throw the ball. Great job of working his way up through the pocket. Finds Fitzgerald. Charles Woodson fell down. Result, a touchdown for the Cardinals. Here, under tremendous pressure, throws the ball to a spot at the back of the end zone, allows Fitzgerald a chance to catch the football. You watch the way the Green Bay Packers played in those zones. They didn't use a man concept once guys got into those zones. But if you leave guys open, Kurt Warner is going to find them, and he's going to find them quickly.
And Aaron Rodgers is going to hang his head just to go the other side. But, I mean...
Played great. He played great.
But
therefore, the highest scoring game in postseason history.
It was, and this, unlike the other games, which we'll get into, but we had a pinball wizard. I mean, there's no other way to say it than that. And so Kurt Warner, who was just so marvelous in the postseason, and how marvelous has he been, just check this out. Because... in only 12 games, postseason, 31 touchdown passes. I mean, there's Joe Montana at 45, and you can read the names on the list. But 12 games, you had 31? I mean, wow. And Kurt Warner and the Arizona Cardinals, the defending NFC champs, live to fight another day. And naturally, the team that played the last game is going to play the first game. Here's the best part. We get to talk more football with the Cardinals. When we return, New England at home against Baltimore. I mean, there's no way that New England would lose at home. They never lose at home. Come on back.
Leading the Way is brought to you by Audi. Truth in engineering.
Admit it, you missed them in the postseason, didn't you? The New England Patriots almost authored an undefeated season 2 years ago. You know what happened in the Super Bowl. Now with Tom Brady back at the helm, they're back. At home as champs of the AFC East against the Baltimore Ravens. Certainly not going to be nervous going into Gillette Stadium because the Ravens are battle-tested. And remember, they fought the wild card route last year. But think about it. Patriots, Brady, Belichick, they never lose at home in Foxborough. Never. Not in the playoffs. They don't ever do it. So, I mean, really, a foregone conclusion. Nobody told Ray Lewis. And the 6th-seeded Baltimore Ravens. They had the opening kickoff, and then on the very first play, Ray Rice from New Rochelle, New York. He's gone. Right away, could go all the way. The people weren't in the seats. It's already 83 yards for a touchdown, 7-0 Ravens.
Yeah, and take a look at the blocking up front. The great vision right there by Rice. He's done a little bit of a cutback and then got back to the outside. He's on top of the safety. You want a guy running downhill, and then he outruns everybody to the end zone.
All right, so now the Patriots are going to get the ball after it's 7-0 Ravens. 3rd and 11. So just a couple of plays later, Ray Rice on the sideline, catch a breath. Tom Brady here. Terrell Suggs knocks the ball loose. Suggs recovers the fumble that he caused blowing past Matt Light.
Suggs going by the left tackle. Great job there of stripping the football and getting it back for the Baltimore Ravens.
And just a few plays later, LaRon McClain. He's a maverick. It's a touchdown, 14-0 the Ravens. And people still aren't in the park. 2nd and 10, New England later in the first. Brady chased. Chris Carr. Baby, you can drive my car. Coach Bill Bell. We don't do this. This is not what we do. Ravens, 2nd and goal. Ray Rice. Look at the beef on the left side there, Tom. 2 touchdowns, Rice. 21-0 Baltimore. It's still the first quarter. Tom Brady. It's a nightmare. Throwing to Sam Aiken. But his head aching because Ed Reed is Johnny on the spot. Reed, whoop, always makes something happen with the ball. Laterals to Juan Landry inside the 10, setting up a field goal, 24-0, end of first quarter. Only one game has ever seen a team postseason score more points. First quarter, Chris Hansen punting it in the sun. Chris Carr, no. Hits off Tom Zibikowski. Kyle Arrington dives on it. and the officials rule a Patriots ball. Did he have it?
Well, Arrington grabs the ball. You see him go out of frame right there. He didn't control it through the ground, but Coach Harbaugh did not challenge it.
And so the Patriots get a break. And Julian Edelman is going to try to get open. Tom Brady finds him. Edelman playing for the man that caught more balls in the NFL this year than anyone, Wes Welker. And there he is up top. Wes actually participated in the opening coin toss, which was a class move. He's a class player. And so, touchdown Edelman. But it's 27-7. Brady, Edelman, touchdown. Former quarterback Kent State scores 27-14. Could there be a miracle? Joe Flacco throwing, how do we say, sparingly. Mark Clayton makes a big catch. Flacco throwing only 10 times, completing only 4 of them. You just saw it. Later in the drive, 3rd and 7. Flacco flickos his way out of the pocket. First down could be short. Wait a minute. He stretched the ball out, Tom.
Yeah, look at the maturity. We're going to take another look at it. There's the red flag on the ground, and look where that ball is at the exact moment he steps out of bounds, just around the 6-yard line.
And so they respot. Good challenge, Harbaugh. 3rd and goal now. Willis McGahee. 33-14 in Foxborough? This can't be. And the one thing the Patriots always, Stephen Gostkowski never misses. Even he missed. I mean, they had a bad punch. But whatever you want to say went wrong for New England. It was a total just head shaker. And the Baltimore Ravens, boy, they came in and just ended the game before anyone knew it started. Credit to the Ravens, who are certainly no stranger to being successful road warriors. 33-14 for the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, the Patriots didn't lose a game at home all season long.
We got to Brady early. We hit him a lot throughout the course of the game, and then we decided to cover toward the end. I thought our guys did a great job of covering. You got Dominique Foxworth out there on Moss most of the game and did a great job on one of the best receivers in the history of the game.
No, the bottom line, I just think, we kept coming. We kept coming, and a lot of times, a lot of things were, a lot of players just making individual plays. It's always next play, no matter if they made a play or not. Next play. And you gotta just, take your hat off to your team for playing that way.
We got out to a lot of fast starts this year, and today we just didn't. The strip sack with Suggs. I mean, he makes a nice play, and they get an interception, and then another interception, and it's just. You can't turn the ball over like that and expect to win.
Well, first things first, even though there was an 83-yard run right away, Tom, defense. Ravens defense,
yes.
Which at times this year, it's not quite what they... Don't tell that to the Patriots.
Well, we asked a lot of questions about what their approach was going to be in attacking Tom Brady, and I thought you saw it from the very beginning of the football game. They decided to go after him, put the pressure on. I always say it can't be token pressure. You have to be hitting him and putting him on the ground. Ray Lewis is the leader of that pack for the Baltimore Ravens. There you see Suggs knocking the ball out, coming around Matt Light. Here you see the blitz package coming by Ray Lewis. The back can't block him. Again, he puts Brady on the ground. And when you can do this, you make him uncomfortable. And I'll say this, I have never seen Tom Brady, especially in the postseason, as uncomfortable, even in the Giants' loss in the Super Bowl, as uncomfortable as he was in this football game.
Well, and we could talk about what Welker's loss meant, because it looked like everything else, Tommy, was, and then, of course...
Well, it forces the turnovers. The turnovers come when you make the quarterback uncomfortable. He's anxious to get the ball out of his hands, and sometimes it goes to spots where he doesn't want it to go.
As good as the Patriots are, as you take Brady to Welker, which was the best thing. Say Randy Moss.
That's right.
Say you thought they could run okay. It's the best thing they do. All of a sudden, on 1 week, they looked a little bit lost.
That's right.
Thanks in due part to the Ravens, who also ran the ball down their throats for, what, 234?
Well, you knew that the Ravens were going to come out and run the ball, and Joe Flacco threw for 34 yards today passing, and they blew out the New England Patriots at home. So it was all about Ray Rice and McGahee and company. And from the very first play of the game, they set the tone. We're going to block you at the offensive line. We're going to run the ball in between the tackles. We're going to run for the tough yards when we get down around the red zone. The great cuts by the backs. And I think that philosophy of make a cut, get yourself downhill, and get what you can. And Ray Rice has that great low center of gravity, so it's like trying to tackle a fire hydrant. It's not easy to knock one over. So, if they're able to do that, keep the turnovers down, this is another team that could go a long way in the playoffs.
Only Oakland in 1969 in a game against Houston, AFL semifinals, had more points in the first quarter of a playoff. It was 28. Give Ravens another bit of credit. only 3 penalties for 15 yards. So maturity, at least on this one day, was. And I don't want to say that New England won't win the division next year, and Tom Brady and Welker and Moss, et cetera, and the defense will be back. But I got to say, I think of requiem for a heavyweight a little bit, because this was not we've not seen this. We've not seen this, and you wonder. I was at a game that Pittsburgh played in 1980 at Buffalo with the young Bills, and the Pittsburgh was older, and it just looked different. And again, I'm not putting any. It looked as if there's a lot of work to be done in New England. Is that
well?
fair to say?
I think that's fair to say, and we heard a lot, toward the end of the season. Tom Brady in the ribs, Tom Brady in the finger. All I can say is this: he did not look like the Tom Brady that I'm used to looking at when it gets to postseason.
Well, look. He and Coach Belichick had never lost a playoff game in Foxborough, either stadium. That went back to the 90s. As a matter of fact, they've won 11 in a row. The Patriots only lost one until today. One home playoff game. And here it is. Tom, I remember because I was there. 1978. Look at that winter coat for Bum Phillips and the 1978 rookie Earl Campbell. Houston Oilers, Dan Pastorini, 00 Kenny Burrow. Oddly enough, they led 24-0 in that game before winning 31-14. And other things. This win, that was Mike Barber scoring a touchdown. He scored a couple of them as we go inside the numbers. So there we go. Since 78, they'd won every other playoff game at home in either of the stadiums until this Sunday. Coach Bill Belichick was 6-0 as a Patriot coach, 1-0 as a Brown coach in his first playoff game in every series. And Tom Brady's last home loss, November 12th, 2006. That was until the Ravens came in and won this game. When we return, prime time performers. I think there were a few. We'll be back.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa. More people go with Visa.
Boom, my primetime performer is Ray Rice of the Baltimore Ravens. 22 carries for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he really set the tone for this football game from the very first play.
Tommy, my primetime performer, the 38 years young Kurt Warner, joining only Darryl LaMonica from the AFL Oakland Raiders in the 60s as someone that's thrown 5 touchdown passes or more in 2 playoff games. When we return, the first look at the best weekend in pro football, divisional Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back on the Pro Bowl. Hope you'll join us the last day of January. Sunday NFL Countdown, special 5:30, 2-hour edition. Kickoff at 7:20 from Miami. Oh, the AFC playoff matchups. Ravens at the Colts. That's the evening game on Saturday. Jets at the Chargers. That's the late afternoon game on Sunday. NFC. Hello. Cardinals at the Saints. That's the late afternoon game Saturday. Cowboys at the Vikings. Think some people might watch this game? That's the early game on Sunday. As we look to that, a broad brush, if you will, Tom.
Well, next weekend, here come the quarterbacks. It's an all-star show. When you talk about Romo and you talk about Brett Favre, and then the AFC, here comes Phillip Rivers, here comes Manning. You got Kurt Warner versus Drew Brees. This is going to be an all-star shootout.
It's a good thing that Arizona and Green Bay set the record for most points. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
It's in like just 6-7 days. We could have more.
That's correct.
Bring them on. Bring your abacus. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching.